Hello and welcome back again, Coffee Beans. This is Soil and Water Conservation Engineering. Definition of terms. Parts C and D. Canopy. Vegetative cover over the land surface of a catchment area. Canopy inlet. Entrance to a closed conduit that has been covered or shielded to induce priming aluminum submergence. Capillary fringe. A zone in the soil just above the water table that remains saturated or almost unsaturated. Capillary moisture is that amount of water that is capable of movement after the soil has drained. It is held by adhesion and surface tension as films around particles and in the finer pore spaces. Capillary pressure. Preferred term is soil water pressure. Capillary pressure head. Height water will rise by surface tension above a free water surface in the soil. Expressed as length unit of water. Sometimes called capillary rise. Capillary water is held by the surface tension forces as a continuous film around the particles and in the capillary spaces. Capillary soil moisture. Preferred term is soil water potential. Capillary zone. Preferred term is capillary fringe. Capped riser or pot. An irrigation pipeline riser extending above the ground, with a watertight cap over its top and outlet gates on its sides slightly above the ground surface. Carbon cycle. A sequence of atomic nuclear reactions and spontaneous radioactive decays which serves to convert matter into energy in the form of radiation and high-speed particles. Chain trencher. An excavator that uses a chain with cutters attached to cut or remove and deposit spoil to the side of the trench or onto a discharge conveyor. Check. A structure to control water depth in a canal, ditch or irrigated field. Check dam. Small barrier constructed in a gully or other small watercourse to decrease flow velocity. Minimize channel scour and promote deposition of sediment. Check dams or weirs are constructed along the channel or waterway to control the velocity of flowing water and encourage deposition of sediments carried by water. Check drain. Conventional drain altered by use of checks so that it can be used as a sub-irrigation system. Check gate is a gate placed across a stream from which it is desired to divert water. The function of the check gate is analogous to that of the dam or the diversion weir or the rivers at the heads of canal system. Check irrigation. Modification of a border strip with small earth ridges or checks constructed at intervals to retain water as the water flows down the strip. Check valve. Valve used in a pipeline to allow flow in only one direction, a device to provide closure which effectively prohibits the flow of material in the opposite direction of normal flow when operation direction of normal flow when the operation of the irrigation system pumping plant or injection unit fails or is shut down. Chemical water treatment. Chemical treatment of water to make it acceptable for use of micro-irrigation systems. Chemigation. Application of chemicals to crops through irrigation system by mixing them with irrigation water. Chute spillway. Lined channel constructed with a steep slope to convey water to lower level without erosion. Sibility weir. A sharp-crested trapezoidal weir with 1 horizontal to 4 vertical side slopes. Cistern. Man-made reservoir or receptacle for holding water or other liquids. Clay tile. Refers to short lengths of pipe used for subsurface drains which are made of shale or clay. Closed drain. Subsurface drain. Tile or perforated pipe, which may also receive surface water through surface inlets. Cone index. The force per unit basal area required to push a cone pentrometer through a specified increment of soil. Cone of depression or influence. The water table of piezometric surface is roughly conical in shape, produced by the extraction of water from a well. Cone distance. The distance from the end of the tooth to pitch apex. Cone pentrometer. An instrument in the form of a cylindrical rod with a cone-shaped tip designed for penetrating soil and for measuring the end-bearing component of penetration resistance. Confined aquifer. An aquifer whose upper, and perhaps lower, boundary is defined by a layer of natural material that does not transmit water readily. Conservation. The continuing protection and management of natural resources in accordance with principles that assure their optimum long-term economic and social benefits. Conservation plan. A combination of land uses and practices to protect and improve soil productivity and to prevent soil deterioration. Conservation practices. Methods which reduce soil erosion and retain soil moisture. Major conservation practices include conservation tillage, crop rotation, contour farming, strip cropping, terraces, diversions, and grassed waterways. Contracted weir. Weir having sufficiently sharp upstream edges and slow approach velocity to cause the nap to contract. Controlled drainage mode. Mode of operating a water table management system with water table control structures adjusted to limit system discharge resulting from rainfall to maintain a free water surface within the soil profile. Control station. The control station may include facilities for water measurement, filtration, treatment, addition of amendments, flow and pressure control, timing of application and backflow prevention. Control structure. Water regulating structure, usually for open conduits. Conveyance loss. Loss of water from a channel or pipe during transport, including losses due to seepage. Leakage, evaporation, and transpiration by plants growing in or near the channel. Convective precipitation is caused by the rising of warmer, lighter air in colder, denser surroundings. Cradle, a support made of rigid material, such as concrete, wood, or steel, used in unstable soil to maintain grade. Support tile or tubing, and prevent deflection of the tubing. Crest, 1, refers to the top of a dam. Dike, spillway, or weir. 2, summit of a wave or peak of a flood. Crest stage gauge provides record of the highest stage observed at a stream. Critical depth is the depth of flow in a channel at which specific energy is a minimum for a given discharge. Critical suction head, preferred term in set positive suction head. Critical velocity, flow velocity at which a given discharge changes from tranquil to rapid or rapid to tranquil. That velocity in an open channel for which the specific energy is a minimum for a given discharge. Crowning, the process of forming the surface of land into a series of broad, low ridges, separated by parallel field drains. Crude protein is composed of true proteins and nitrogenous products. Crude protein equals %N times 6.25. Culvert is a closed conduit, usually circular, square or rectangular in cross section, used for conveying water across and under an elevated roadway. Embankments, or dike. Curve number, an index of the runoff potential which is related to the soil and vegetation conditions of the site. Cut and fill, process of earth moving by excavating part of an area and using the excavated material for adjacent embankments or fill areas. Cutoff, wall, collar, or other surface structure such as trench filled with relatively impervious material intended to reduce percolation of water along other smooth surfaces, or through porous strata. Cutoff drain, preferred term is interceptor drain. Cut slope, the uphill side slope of a broad-based terrace channel. Dam, a structure of earth, rock, concrete, or other materials designed to retain water, creating a pond, lake or reservoir. Debris basin, surface reservoir designed to trap sediment and debris. Debris cone, a fan-shaped deposit of debris including soil, sand, gravel, and boulders built up at the point where a mountain stream meets a valley, or where the velocity of a stream is reduced sufficiently to cause such deposits. Deflation, preferential removal of fine soil particles from the surface soil by wind. Deflocculate, to separate of dispersed particles of clay dimensions from a flocculated condition. Depletion, loss of water from surface water reservoirs or groundwater aquifers at a rate greater than that of recharge. Depletion curve, recession curve for soil water, streamflow, groundwater, etc., usually shown as a decay function with time. Depression, wet bulb, the difference between the dry bulb and wet bulb temperatures. Deposition, transported material deposited because of decreased transport capacity of water or wind. Deposit rate, the amount of any material deposited per unit area. Depression storage, water stored in surface depressions and therefore not contributing to surface runoff. Depth, a distance measured vertically downward from the ground surface. Depth profile, the measured depth penetration resistance relation of a specific soil condition and location. Detention dam, dam constructed for the temporary storage of surface runoff and for releasing the stored water at controlled rates. Diversion, a channel or dam constructed across the slope to intercept surface runoff and divert it to a safe or convenient discharge point. Diversion box, a structure built into a canal or ditch for dividing the water into predetermined portions and diverting it to other canals or ditches. Diversion canal is a channel constructed around the slope and given a slight gradient to cause water to flow to a suitable and stable outlet. Diversion dam, barrier built in a stream for the purpose of diverting part or all the water from the stream into a canal. Diversion requirement refers to a farm turnout requirement plus conveyance losses in the main canal and lateral up to the farm turnout. Division box, it controls or regulates the flow of irrigation water from a main farm ditch to a supplementary ditch. Dowsing, water witching, using a forked stick or wire to locate underground water. Drain, any closed conduit, perforated tubing or tile, or open channel, used for removal of surplus ground or surface water. Drainage, process of removing surface or subsurface water from a soil or area. Drainage basin, the area from which runoff is collected and delivered to an outlet. Drainage coefficient is the depth of water in inches to be removed in a 24-hour period from the drainage area. Drainage culvert, it conveys drainage or excess water caused by storms from an irrigation canal. Drainage curves, flow rate versus drainage area curves giving prescribed rates of runoff for different levels of crop protection. Drainage mode, mode of operating a subsurface drainage system with a free outfall at the outlet. Drainage pattern, 1. Arrangement of a system of surface or subsurface drains. 2. Arrangement of tributaries within a watershed. Drainage pumping plant, pumps, power units, and appurtenances for lifting drainage water from a collecting basin to an outlet. Drainage system is a collection of surface and/or subsurface drains. together with structures and pumps. Used to remove surface or groundwater. Drainage well. 1. A well pumped in order to lower water tables. 2. Vertical shaft to a permeable substratum into which surface and subsurface drainage water is channeled, no illegal. Drain inlet structure. See surface inlet. Drain plow. A machine with a vertical blade, chisel point, and shield or boot used to install corrugated plastic tubing or drain tile. Drain tile. Short length of pipe made of burned clay, concrete, or similar material, usually laid with open joints, to collect and remove subsurface water. Drain valve. Automatic. Spring-loaded valve that will automatically open and drain the line when the pressure drops to near zero. Dredging. Refers to the removal of mud from the bottom of water bodies using a scooping machine. This disturbs the ecosystem and causes silting that can kill aquatic life. Drilling pipe. Serves as an adapter of the drill bit and conduit of water jet channel. Drilling rig. Structural assembly which is used to drill holes for the purpose of water well construction. Drop hammer. A hammer in which the force of the blow is developed entirely by gravity. Drop inlet spillway. Overall hydraulic structure in which water is discharged through a vertical riser conduit. Drops. They are used to conduct water from a higher to a lower elevation and diffuse the force of the falling water to prevent scouring. Drops. Like inclined drops, they are used to carry water from a higher to a lower elevation, but they carry water over longer distances and flatter slopes and through several changes in grade. Drop inlet spillway. Overfall hydraulic structure in which water is discharged through a vertical riser conduit. Droplet. A small drop of a liquid material. Drop siding. A specially milled building sheathing 102 mm or 153 mm by up to 4.88 meters long with about 12.7 mm top thickness and 19 mm bottom thickness, similar to tongue and groove fit between pieces. Drop spillway. Overall hydraulic structure in which the water drops over a vertical wall onto an apron. Drop structures are irrigation structures which convey water from a higher to a lower level. May be inclined or vertical. Dry bulb temperature of the air is the temperature is measured by an ordinary dry bulb thermometer. Dike. An artificial embankment constructed to prevent flooding. Dynamic head. Specific energy in a flow system. Hope it helps. Thank you again for listening. Please like, subscribe and comment your suggestion on topics you want to hear. Links of previous topics are stated in the description box below. See you in the next part. Bye. Rar.